Hey YouTube, Rex, City, and Paul.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
This is Recast Podcast, episode 13, of season 3.
An
An episode of all time.
Yes.
So, last week we finished, or rather this week we finished Freerun. So that's all done.
Oh my gosh. It's gone.
6 months with that show. More.
Such a wonderful experience.
Amazing. And I touched on it we touched on it in the discussion. Like, we had no complaints.
Yeah.
No.
All through the season.
Yeah.
Like, have we ever had a show with no complaints? I'm trying to think. ReZero. Did we ever complain about ReZero? Maybe that one.
The thing is, earlier on we didn't complain as much in general.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So I mean, even if there was a complaint, we might not have even said it.
Yeah, because we're kind of scared to get beat up.
That plus, at the time, I think we just weren't used to being that critical of things.
Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm. We were trying to stay real positive.
Yeah, and for me personally, I didn't have anything to be critical to compare it to. You know?
Yeah.
Now
experienced anime before.
Yeah.
But before we get into digging into that, I wanted to bring up something that actually happened the last time we recorded a podcast. The same day that we were recording, this happened, and so it didn't make it into the fun facts. So the fun facts for this week is something that happened a while ago you might have heard about. So Himmel is very inspiring, right? Mm-hmm. And it has real life consequences because there was apparently a knife attack on a train in Japan, and a man stopped that knife attack. And when asked why he did it, he said, "It's what Himmel would have done."
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I remember you told us.
We have a picture of the madman.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Oh my gosh, he's
such
an otaku.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
They described him as an otaku. I was like, why you have to do a man like that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Picture. I'll put it on screen for you guys.
Oh my gosh, this woman is probably like, piece of shit. Well, I didn't say
But yeah, I mean, he was one of 17 people on the train, and the guy stabbed 3 people.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
So yes, good thing he stopped. Did they say like how he stopped? Did you read it?
I skimmed it, but no, I didn't see exactly how.
I bet you he'll be describing it on the 4chan.
On the
4chan.
Or the @chan.
The
if you're
@chan.
in Steins Gate.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just running through it real quick, and it doesn't go into details exactly what he did. It might have actually been in Taiwan because it's a Taiwanese man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but good on him. I mean,
That's amazing.
That's a positive outcome.
Himmel has reached new heights.
Yes.
Through the ages, he has reached 2024 and inspired a young lad.
Yes.
Via the internet.
Yeah.
The internet.
That's crazy.
You know, television is dangerous. Okay? Like some people are like, it's just a TV show. This man stopped an attack because it's what Himmel would have done.
Oh my gosh. I'm just glad it worked out. Because it could have been like, I thought this is what Himmel would have done.
No.
Yeah, I mean, even trying to do it is pretty good.
I mean, it's a good thing, but like if this man watched Overlord instead.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
I don't know where
So negative influences could also.
Yes.
I mean, it has.
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel like they jumped on it more in the past.
Yeah.
That, video games causes violence. But we have more people kind of saying, no, you know. But,
Yeah, so we have that Freerun's over, and we were talking about how it felt like a different type of anime, more like a movie kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And speaking of movies, we do have a tiebreaker that's coming up with the movie polls. Ooh. Right now, we're locked between Akira and Train to Busan. Anytime there's a tiebreaker, I've just taken whatever I thought would fit better. Just saw Ghost in the Shell, which is an older movie. Akira is also an older movie. Mm-hmm. So I thought to break the pace, maybe just do Train to Busan. But if you guys have a preference or so.
I don't know either of them.
Yeah, I don't know Akira that much. I only know Train to Busan because it's really popular. Mm-hmm. It's a Korean movie.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. I know some of the actors from it because I've seen them in K-dramas and other K-movies and stuff like that, but I really don't know that much about it.
It's a live action?
Yes.
Oh.
Is the pool for actors in Korean movies smaller, or is it just if you're a big actor, you'll always get first bill on a big movie?
Pretty much, yes.
That's probably it.
It's I would say it's that one because like you see all these K-dramas coming out and like most of the time if you watch like 10 of them, you've seen most of the cast of all of the rest as well. Every now and again you see like one person pop up and you're like, that's a face. that's a face right there, and then you find out he's an idol who's like also acting, and then you're like, okay, I'll never see you again then. Okay.
Oshinoko talked about that. There's advertising for themselves, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So I was gonna ask. I was trying to think in my head, is Oshinoko a Korean show? But no, it's Japanese.
It's Japanese, yes.
Yeah.
But very similar.
Yeah, they
So.
still have a similar idol culture.
I think Korea is probably more hardcore. Do you think that's fair? In idol sphere, not necessarily actor sphere.
In idol sphere, I actually have no clue because I haven't wandered onto the Japanese side of the idol sphere at all.
They do have their J-pop.
J-pop.
Yeah, I don't actually know. Just from what a little I've seen, these guys are like really about it.
Well, like I think it's like because like Japan has like the anime thing that you can go really in on because they do it really well. I think K-pop, they just do it really well. Because Korea doesn't really have good K anime that I've seen.
True. So if you're into idols at all, you might as well go into the guys who mastered it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So Train to Busan we've talked about before. That's kind of like a zombie movie.
Yes,
it's a more modern movie. It did extremely well. Like I think you mentioned, you've heard about it. Actors, like a small pool. The only other country that has that kind of same effect is England, or rather, I should say Great Britain. If you see British actors in any British show, they're in all the shows. I started noticing the girl who plays Gamora's sister in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did notice. Amy Pond from Doctor Who. That's her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did notice her popping up more around the time that she was in Guardians of the Galaxy. But I was like, oh wow, she's really popular right now, and then I just walked away. I didn't take any time to analyze the situation.
I did notice. I don't watch a lot of English movies, but I did notice that I would see her a lot. But I thought it was just like what do you call that part of your brain? It just starts spotting it all the time.
I know what you're saying. I can't remember.
But because the first place I saw her was Doctor Who, and then I would see her everywhere after that. So not immediately after. I was sometime after I started seeing her in a lot of shows. I didn't even know if she was the girl in Guardians of the Galaxy.
She was also in Jumanji.
I know that
Jumanji
one. Yeah, that was around the time I started. The first one was around the time I started seeing her in a lot of different things. It's like, oh, okay. She's
Ruby
blowing
Roundhouse. Yeah.
Blowing up.
Was that actually her name in that thing?
That was the because it was a character name because they were in a video game.
Oh, right.
So it's Ruby or Rosie Roundhouse, one of them.
Ruby, I think it's
Ruby Roundhouse.
Sounds more closer.
Yeah, one of them.
But we have also got we finished Ninja Kamui. We talked about that last week, but this week I was reading the comments from the very last episode of the finale, and Reinthor was telling me they already confirmed season 2.
Ooh!
I did not think that thing would get greenlit.
What are we doing?
That's what I thought. But I was talking with him a little bit about it and reading his comments, and he was saying that if he hoped, like us, that what everyone was hoping really, they dropped the mech suit idea because that was terrible. Stick to the hands because the first few episodes everyone was hooked, and just go all in on that. Stop trying to be deep with your story. Just go all in on the fighting and shorten the amount of episodes.
Yeah.
And they do well. But I mean, in season 2, I read a little bit right here about this. It's nothing but glowing praise on the Screen Rant topic. Apparently, Adult Swim said it's the most popular anime they've ever had on the platform.
Oh, in the beginning when it posted?
They just said that flat out. I don't know if in the beginning or not.
How many stuff do they have? How many anime do they have on Adult
That's
Swim?
immediately what I thought. But also, Max, the TV channel, also said it's the most popular show that they had on their channel. There was one other here, but I can't quite remember. It'll take me a while to spot it. So they greenlit it for season 2, and they're very excited to see how that one's taken as well. So apparently it did well enough in the West to warrant a sequel, but I wonder if it's a case of our viewers are generally speaking strictly anime watchers. So that's why we didn't get very many people watching after a while, because the quality in terms of story just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But in the West, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Because that's all anyone really wanted. No one really has experience with anime, so
Yeah,
did good.
that's true.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what happened.
I mean, when you think about it, it is a meeting of the two worlds in terms of anime and West, like Western type shows. That's why I think we were kind of like, why are we here? Because we've been watching anime shows, so then we're coming to this. It's called an anime, but it doesn't feel that way because I think they were hitting their demographic, which was the West.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Adult Swim, I haven't really. I don't think I've ever watched Adult Swim, like the channel.
Yeah.
But I've heard about a few of the shows that they had.
I know you have.
No, I was about to say I didn't even know they were still around.
Oh yeah. they're huge.
I heard about them like when I was a kid, and I hated them because they made me not have to get to watch Cartoon Network anymore. I had to go to bed because they came on. So I never paid attention to them anymore.
Yeah, I always thought it was just supposed to be a time frame. I didn't understand for a while that they were an actual like a production. They had their own thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd be able to watch a season 2 because how season 1 went.
Yeah.
The only way we'd be able to is like out of nowhere. It's a smash success. But even then, I feel like it's just the people like you guys. You watch our channel. I don't think you enjoyed that very much. But it's just one of those things where it's a business decision. We really shouldn't focus on this if we're not getting people who want to actually watch it with us.
Yeah. That and like towards the end we were like
It burned us
yeah,
out.
we were dragging ourselves through it. Especially with, like the ending, like we had mentioned before, it didn't stick the landing.
No.
But yeah.
But I mean, on my off time, I'll probably check out season 2.
Same.
Because I did like the hand-to-hand combat while it was good. So
Yeah.
if they decide, hey, you get a bigger budget, hey, let's focus up, it'd probably be great.
Yeah. I would be one to wait and see how the anime crowd takes it, and then decide, okay, maybe, because it might be a case of like an opposite of Promised Neverland, where season 2 is like you just gotta make it through season 1 to watch season 2.
Yeah, it could be because they did dump the suit at the end there, and we have more ninjas around.
Yes, I forgot. Okay, that's where season 2 is going. The more ninjas. I forgot completely about that because it was so random.
It really was.
Also, so Val Evergarden, we're going to be starting this coming Wednesday. So it's a new show. It's supposed to be a more emotional show, but it's also a shorter show. So it's going to be 12 episodes, one-shot season. And I got the synopsis here. There were 2 synopsises, one of which had way more information, so I left that one out because I feel like these type of shows, I think it's better just going blind, kind of like Promised Neverland. So this synopsis from IMDb is a shorter one, and it goes, in the aftermath of a great war, Violet Evergarden, a young female ex-soldier, gets a job as a writer at an agency and goes on an assignment to create letters that can connect people. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Okay.
Maybe just articles?
So it's what's
a story.
What's that thing called? Is dear? It's like a little part of the newspaper where somebody writes it to somebody.
like an advice column kind of thing?
Yes, that person is like a dear person. You talked about what you were going through. Here's my advice.
Advice column,
yeah. I forgot what it's called. There was a really popular one.
Dear something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it too. I can't remember the name.
I don't know.
Unfortunately.
Dear Diary.
Dear Diary. What's interesting is I've actually seen them on like on Google. When you go to they have the front page and they have all their articles there. I sometimes just scroll them to see what's on there, and I've seen some people have like a dear something column. It's like, my husband is ruining our retirement, spending too much money. You know.
Ethel, you know, I'd read the paper, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 videos on the channel. And
Yes.
That's
wild.
That's the thing.
He's edited all of
And
them.
he has touched all of them.
Edited 1,000
Like
videos.
at least a third of the editing of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
it's pretty
more,
cool.
like at least, let's say 90% of them was 100% edited by you.
Yeah. I thought I'd feel accomplished about this, but
Yeah.
no.
1,000 videos. Yeah.
No, it's just 1,000 videos.
1,000
Yeah.
videos.
Slow and steady wins the race. Humble brag.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely gotten easier since you guys started doing the videos and helping out and stuff like that. So couldn't have done it without you guys.
We only started 3 years later.
Yeah, that's most of everything that happened in the news type of thing for this week. So I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit more about Freerun. So I mean, for Freerun, the magic system, I was going on a little bit of an Easter egg hunt last night, trying to figure out what the hell does visualization mean? What do you understand that to mean?
Basically, if you can imagine it clear enough, if you can make yourself believe it, see it in your mind's eye. Man, if you have, what's it called? Aphasia? Not that one. Is it aphasia?
The one where you
can't
can't.
visualize. Yeah.
Imagine anything in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have that, you just can't magic.
No.
Well, yeah.
A lot
in
of
my
people
head,
can't magic, so.
yeah. If you, in my head, the better and clearer your imagination is, the more likely magic will just respond and do the thing that you want it to do.
It could just come down to, the way you said that is the clearest, where you can only do, because magic is like mana, which is like a energy. You can't direct the energy if you don't think you can direct the energy. So it's like it's like it'll stop short. It's like it'll go and stop because you don't think it can actually go through, kind of thing. So that might just be it.
You see, that's kind of what I was also thinking, but I was reading around, and some people were saying it's not just imagination, but like imagination is a part of it, but also imagination and visualization, they're separate, but they're combined for visualization. So like, if you believe you can shoot through a wall, that alone won't make you shoot through the wall. You also need to have the mana, the control, the technique, and understanding of the spell. So what makes Ubel dangerous is the spell itself already exists.
So simple, yes.
The spell is to cut things. It's not just her believing she can cut things. She understands the spell inside and out. But her visualization works in a way where it is belief for her, which is what Sense was saying. Her brain doesn't work like normal people's brains, where a normal person needs to visualize going through the thing, but they also need to understand how it would go through the thing. She seems to skip the how step. And as long as she believes she can cut through the thing, she can. But for some reason, her brain understands things differently.
Yeah. She was like, well, it's cloth. It's supposed to get cut.
Yeah. Which I was thinking that's how it worked before. But that's only Ubel.
Yeah.
She's pure belief.
That makes sense.
So I started to think about, you remember the anime, The Amazing Magicians or whatever?
The Amazing Magicians, describe it.
Where like, he was from like the real world. They're all from real worlds. Well, he had a scientific understanding behind some processes.
Oh, yes,
And
I
it was
remember.
way stronger. I think that's visualization.
Okay.
Because he understands like splitting an atom and how chemicals form or whatever.
Yeah, how to
when
make
he
water
thinks
with
about it,
H2O.
it's
and that.
way stronger. Yeah, I think that's what they mean by understanding behind the basics or whatever things.
So with that anime, he was from the real world and he got isekai'd into a magic mage world. And because the way the mage stuff worked is you have to understand how it works, but because he's from our modern world,
where they already
he has
know all
science
of that.
and all this stuff. He
Yeah.
understands molecules. He was terrific at everything.
That's cool.
The concept was amazing. Anime was mid.
It was very
It
mid.
sounds like it's easy to be because
Incredibly
it's easy
mid.
to make him OP.
The only props I give that anime is that he only had one girl.
Yeah.
He stuck to it. He married her. I'm like, good man.
Good man.
I also noticed that. It's funny enough. I was like, this is actually unusual, but it's also wholesome because like
It's
all the friends were
refreshing.
shipping them together.
Aww.
Yeah, they're all like hiding in the bushes when he was asking her out for the first time. They were like, "Yay!" Which they finally accepted.
It's so nice.
But mid.
Dude.
Hoin Kuyoma continues to impress on Steins Gate. We've been enjoying that show.
Yes.
5 episodes in now.
Oh, I like Steins Gate. It's
it?
great. We were talking about the idea that some people say is really slow in the beginning, and I think I was talking about why I think it's not that way for us.
Yeah.
At least us. I don't know how you're feeling. It's good to find
I'm
out. Oh, you're fine about it? Just because it's such a thinky show, you kind of have to analyze everything. At least you feel like you do.
Yeah.
And until you find out the real meat of the plot, because I feel like we are still floating in midair like Hoin. Hoin thinks he knows things, but he knows nothing.
Doesn't know anything.
And neither do we. So it's like we are grasping at straws, and all the straws are everything they say. So we're listening to everything. So nothing feels slow because we're like, give me more.
Yes.
I need to know.
The way Hoin reacts to information is just so interesting, and that in of itself can change how you view him. Because like he was on the roof, for instance, the last episode, and he was talking about, all right, so we're in a race against CERN, right? And then the music starts playing. It's like, is this music supposed to be sinister right now? But it's like, all right, we're against CERN. And it's like, okay, so how am I supposed to take this scene? Is this like heroic? Is this him fighting against injustice? Is this sinister, like I'm going to take him down? Like, how am I supposed to take this scene?
That's evil cackling.
Yes.
He evil cackles.
He evil cackles. He really does.
It's funny. I was thinking about that same thing where the music versus the moment.
Yes.
When I was editing the scene when he's yelling at her, he's yelling at what's her name?
Christina.
Yeah, and because she said Okabe.
Okabe instead of Hoin.
And when you, at the time when it was happening, I remember being like, oh my gosh, what's he getting upset about?
Yes, same.
You know, but then when I listened to it this time, the music was like circusy music. It was like, oh, okay, they were trying to tell us to chill. It's okay, don't worry. It's just him being him.
I was wondering if he was like starting to like understand because she was just talking about
I thought so too.
About how he doesn't consider anybody else's strategy. He just considers his own.
I thought it was like,
I thought he was going a light bulb was going off and he was like, CERN is gonna start looking for us.
Yes.
No. He's like, don't call me Okabe.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought in the moment too. It's like, oh my gosh, she's thinking.
No, he wasn't doing that.
Which is funny because that kind of connects to how he's acting in general, because there's so much he's getting like hints towards actual time travel, and he just doesn't respond.
No.
Yeah.
He just, okay, back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Amanda straight up said, what did she say?
She said she was a soldier.
No. When she was saying she doesn't know anything yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said that. She's talking about the fireworks. There's so much
Bombs,
weird.
Yeah. She's just weird. Yeah.
I mean, it was one thing to just dismiss the whole time travel or whatever. She is odd.
Yes.
He doesn't react to other people being strange.
No.
He acts strangely. No one else acting strangely has any bearings on what he's doing.
Yes.
And it comes back to what Rose was saying, where he is playing a 1v0 game.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not thinking about anyone else's strategy against him or anyone else as a player against, like, in this realm. He's existing in his own world
As usual.
Yeah, so he's taking in information selectively.
Yep.
Yes.
He takes in information he's looking for. He's not taking information that happens upon him.
Yeah, not like the whole, this man left a computer 10 years ago saying that a young man was going to need it at some point. Oh, here you are. And he's just like, fate!
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you're investigating time travel right now.
Yeah.
You should have some hints. Nothing? No? Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if it was just Hoeen acting this way. The fact Christina also doesn't react throws me off.
I'm trying to forgive her a little bit because she doesn't have all of the information that Hoeen had, like with the
That's
human
true.
is dead thing. She just met Amane and she just went weird a little bit,
And she asked about it afterwards.
Yeah, but he just kind of brushed it off like, oh, it's just another weirdo in this building. Have you met Mr. Braun?
Yeah, I feel like he in his life is getting a lot more clues than her. She's just entering. And I think also on her side is she is in denial about the whole time travel, so she's going to naturally reject information that seems to point that direction. Like, it's only because they were reading these files and they were just directly saying that she couldn't fight it.
Yeah.
Like, even when they were saying it and Hoy was like, oh my gosh, it's time travel. She's like, no, we can't say that yet, it's too soon.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious?
Like, there's jelly. There's jelly everywhere.
She saw the jelly banana.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did, right?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She came in and stuck her finger in it and ate it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm way more forgiving because she didn't watch herself get stabbed. Hoeen. He's completely over it right now,
He
by
saw
the
her
way.
get stabbed.
Yeah.
He's over it.
Yeah.
He went to a lecture and then suddenly the lecture doesn't exist anymore. There's a satellite in the building. He's investigating CERN. He's not putting anything together. It's incredible how many gymnastics he can do to avoid getting the right answer.
Gymnastics. You think it's... Oh, yeah.
No, you go.
I was going to say, is it intentional?
That's where I was going.
I figured.
I was just thinking when I was editing again, I looked at his face and like, he looks like Subaru. And I'm wondering if ReZero made the character, especially in the beginning, where Subaru started off with just like, this is fine, burning around him, dying constantly. And I feel like he is kind of in that place. That's why in the very beginning, my thought was that he's kind of going crazy and this is his way of like maintaining his sanity. So I wonder if he is maybe not consciously, but like subconsciously protecting his sanity
that he's
because
in
there's
danger.
so much going on. Like he's talking about it, but almost playfully and dramatically, but not taking it seriously. So I'm wondering if he is just like, is he gonna have a mental breakdown? Like when he walked out of the room and stood on the roof, was he really like contemplating stuff until he like switched back to protection mode? It was like, no, we're gonna beat CERN.
Yeah.
Maybe before because he was in shock.
Yes.
So,
I wonder if this is like a theme in general that we haven't picked up on in anime, where there's like a character type where they pretend to be like the hardcore otaku pretends to be this RPG character, and it's their way of escaping the world, and like that's just an archetype that we just haven't picked up on.
Yeah,
Because this would be like the second or maybe third time if you count. Second time probably.
Yeah, so Subaru and this guy.
Yeah. I was trying to think of someone from Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think that might have been High School Boys, so never mind.
Different anime entirely. I can cope with that as a definitive explanation for why these people are this way. I mean, Subaru, I forgive him a lot more because he is dying.
Yes.
Repeatedly. You have to take some hard copium for that.
Yeah.
So, Hoin Kilma, I'll give you a pass. Barely. Just a little bit.
I was gonna just add to that, Mayushi could be another character like that because she is just kind of like, she looks like she's just trying to enjoy life, and I feel like she's gone through some hard things, especially last episode when she was trying to explain, no, I chose to be his hostage. Tell you no more.
Tell me no
And
explanation.
And Hoin just kind of walks out the room like really seriously.
Yeah, like
so,
it's an uncomfortable topic for him.
Yeah, so something probably happened. Like maybe he saved her mentally from something, and she just feels beholden to him.
And that could be an example of what we're talking about, where he avoids that kind of thing to stay in the RPG. Other than that, Gogolu's Ranger, we've got 2 episodes left.
Oh my gosh,
Just finished episode 10.
Yes.
It's going pretty fast now, right here at the ending. I didn't expect for it to pick up speed like this, but I saw some comments that were kind of explaining it. Apparently, episodes 4 through 8, they sped through the manga. Manga's contents that took place in episode 4 through 8 lost a lot of its readership because they slowed down a lot for the training arc and the whole Ranger thing.
They thought it would be a good arc people would enjoy, but they didn't.
I can see how I would be like, I'm not here for training. Fight the keepers. Do it. You know.
That's what the comments were saying. Is like people were expecting him to just become a ranger and then just start wreaking havoc from the inside. But then we got this whole massive manga arc. So, I wonder how many pages we got through.
Honestly, sorry.
I also wonder how much like interaction between the other cadets we lost out, which would explain why he's so endeared to them.
That makes sense. Because I did feel like I didn't feel like it was rushed endearment, but it was a little bit like, you're that close to them, really? But it's just because we don't hear his thoughts that much. We just kind of have to read into his actions, and we see that in the flashback. So that helped. It felt okay to me. But I do feel like I would not have enjoyed more of this tournament arc. Because I feel like even these episodes, like I was like, are we not done yet? I thought it was 2 days. I thought it was 1 day, and that was 3 days. Where are we? But because so much happened, especially in the last episode, it kind of made up for that.
We got some interesting comments in regards to how what's his name, Petrola, got down to that room, and someone said he went to the area they're gonna finish to heal up real quick. So he did a whole tree thing like very quickly. It was in between we last saw him last episode get hurt. He ran down there, spawned that tree before they got there. So just lightning fast.
He just decided, let me just grow real quick.
Which I'm just worrying, like, why did you go there if all the cadets are finishing there?
It could be he thinks so lowly of them, like they can't do anything. The only reason they could do anything is because Blue Ranger.
I mean, he did like go to where the Dragon Keepers were specifically and decided to stay. Like, I don't know. He had the opportunity to leave. Go through the pipes like usual. I think because his plan was to keep wreaking havoc, right?
I think he maybe just figured he'd just kill them while he was here.
I think so.
He'd bit off more than he could chew.
Because XX just called him for help. And then he's like, oh, let's have a rampage instead of leaving and keeping you safe. So I think he's just that full of himself. Like, he calls himself God. So
that's true.
So he just really thought like he could take him.
I would really like to know where he comes from. It's one of those things that I can see this show just never getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're monsters.
yeah, I mean, XX did say they're our parents. They make us. So, I mean, maybe there's something behind him that made him.
My guess is that like the boss monsters might, just from looking at Petrola, I'm like, what if the boss monsters are like earth based, so like water monster, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
because they did say that they were taking back the earth.
Yes, that
like earlier on.
it.
And so dust, tree, nature, and they're taking all. They're like, we're taking it back.
That would make sense because he portrays himself, or before he was as a tree, then he made a tree, and then he became a bird. So it's like very earth creature things. And then maybe they had to leave, like maybe they were, defeated at some point before they left, because they're in this floating thing. So I wonder if they went off to space, or they just went to some deserted part of the land of Earth, and now they're trying to take back Earth. That would explain it.
The boss monster also said while the bosses are absent, which he could have just been still implying they're dead or whatever. But I just wonder if that's also intentionally vague to be like they respawn or something.
Yeah.
Maybe there's no permadeath for them.
Yes. That would make sense if they're born of the earth. Yeah. If it's like a JJK thing where they're born of like the essence, so that they're always recreated because the thing that makes them is always there.
But before we wrap up with the final topic, is there any Rose rant that you have?
Let me think. All right, I'm reading like a book, a werewolf book, where she's like, she finds her, like they have this concept of like a mate, like a soulmate.
Yep.
So she finds her soulmate. He's a Lycan King, so of course she becomes Lycan Queen.
Of course.
So I was kind of.
Do you know what it's called?
I'm reading the second book called The Rogues Who Went Rogue.
Okay.
And this concept is like, I'm like, I like the story, but it's a bit too everybody loves her, which is something that I run into a lot, even with the manhwas.
Yeah.
Like everybody instantly loves her. There's this guy who like he is like the anti government because he's cousins to the king. He hates his cousin, so he's anti-government. That's how that smells. Okay. But suddenly he has two conversations with her where she's basically being like, stop being a jerk, and he's completely in love with her right now.
Wonderful.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, really? And somehow it managed to pull it off in a way where I was less annoyed, but it did bring to my attention that it is something that I see a lot in writing, where people like just can't help but love her. But I'm starting to realize that in this book it might not just be a plot device, it's like something actually like fate bound is happening, because everybody quite literally cannot help but love her and want to like be like, I'm telling you all of my secrets.
You better hope that's the idea that the writer's trying to do. Next thing you end the book, he or she ends the series like, and that's it, and everyone loves her.
That's a cool way to explain that, because I have seen that kind of thing in writing in general, and I mean you could even tie that back to like Twilight.
Yeah.
If you think about how everyone took Bella when she started coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone loves Bella, and everyone just like feels like the need to defend this random.
It was like, we are going to die for Bella right now.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if that's a writing problem, or if that's almost like an escapism genre of everyone actually likes you.
That's
so.
what I was gonna say. Because people have talked about the whole fact that Bella was a playing character on purpose to be a place to put your face. Yeah, it's very easy to do that, and it's very profitable because you get a lot of the people who get into that are people who are very emotional, and they're not thinking about this writing.
It's logical.
This is not logically correct. It would not happen like this. The real world is not. They're very emotional, and they want to just fall into and be immersed in like, this could be me, and I can. This person is amazing, and they're not even thinking consciously this could be me. They're just like living vicariously through this character.
Yes.
So I feel like it's just. I think it is a writing device, and at the same time, I also think it's a it could be a subconscious thing by the writer that's not even realizing they're doing it. Like they're just that type of person, and that's how they write. But yeah, I think it's a very common thing for that reason.
Yeah, but in like for manhwas, they like I mentioned, this book pulls it off pretty well, and it's turning it into like an actual plot point. But in manhwas, they're like. Everyone is so like, I will die for you day one. It's kind of jarring. It's like, and also especially when they're like the isekai into somebody who's like already living a life, and then these people are suddenly all of their relationships are like reset, and they're like people who couldn't stand you before. Oh, I like you now. Wow, it's fine. And I will quite literally stand in this burning bridge to save your life. You know, we've only had 2 conversations, but you know, that kind of thing is just, it's a little bit too much for me.
So would you consider this a good book series?
I like this book series so far. It's a good book series.
The Coalescence of something?
The Coalescence of the 5 is the series, I think. It's not so much that I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like it doesn't make sense. There are people fighting against them, but it's still a little bit like, okay, we just met. So there's this concept of the rogues. You know, you have the wolf pack, and then the rogues are the people who split off from a wolf pack, and everybody kind of ostracizes them because nobody knows why they went rogue. Usually they assume that it's because they went against their alpha or went against the rules of the pack, so they're shooed away. So she meets this rogue pack, and she just has like one conversation, and instantly everybody is like, we're gonna protect the queen. The queen is awesome. I love the queen. And I was like, this is too much. And they did explain that like they have themselves and they have their wolf kind of inside them. They can feel their wolf inside them, and their wolf kind of prods them to open up to her. Oh. So there is that concept that makes it feel like it's more of a plot point. So I'm like, okay, I can forgive this. But you know, she just became queen. The guy who has been king for like 20 years, and like the whole defense system is just like, let's just protect the queen. We don't care about the queen.
Forget that guy.
The king can take care of himself.
I wish you had read the actual Twilight series, because I would love to know the connect or the similarities with the wolves in Twilight and the wolves in that book, because many people said that some of the points of how the wolves worked in Twilight were very similar to like traditional werewolves. Yes,
I would agree. Like after reading through like how I read a lot of them, and a lot of the system of how werewolves work is very similar, especially the whole mate thing.
Yeah, that's what made me think of that.
And I think that's it made me understand what they were going for with Jacob a little bit more, because with the mate bond, each person is supposed to feel the bond. It's like intense love, and I love you more than anything, and so the fact that he was so in love with her, and she was just like, oh, you're my friend, I guess. You know,
Bella.
I'm talking about Bella. I can see how he would actually like be that way, because he annoyed me a lot in the movies, but like I understand a little bit more now.
Yeah. Because there was also another mate relationship thing that they explained earlier too, and it was the same way the person acted, like Jacob was acting with Bella.
Yes. Oh, the other werewolf.
Yeah. I don't know if somebody's brother. I don't remember.
Yeah. Somebody. One of I think the current alpha of his wolf pack was dating another person, but he found his mate and he broke up with her and scarred her face for some reason because he felt like it.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
I thought it was like she got in a fight with him, and that's how she broke off with her own pack and took her brother.
Oh no, they didn't break off it. They were just kind of like they were treated poorly, but they were still in the same pack.
No. In Twilight, you're talking about?
In Twilight.
I don't remember him scarring her face on purpose. I know she got upset. I remember she left the pack and she made her own pack. I remember that because the whole reading minds thing, we were able to, Bella they can't hear the other pack if they're in a different pack.
Yes, mind link.
Yeah. So because she made her own pack, she basically got cut off. And then I remember that because Bella was able to only like get the whole pack by just the alphas of the different packs. Anyways, I was saying like the whole soulmate thing. The guy who fell in love with the other girl, he was like that, where he was just like googly and blah, 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 over the girl in front of the girl that he just was with, and it was like really awkward.
It's really ridiculous.
Really,
sometimes like this book. As like the men in this book cannot control their emotions. They're like about to fight over everything. It's absurd. Even to the point where last book, a qualm that I had is okay. So one of the plot points is that the other cousin, the good cousin to the king, his name is Christian. He and his mate Annie. After they got together, bad cousin was like, "Oh, I hate these people. Let me just, poison Annie so that she could never have kids."
Okay.
So yeah, that happened, and towards the end of the book, he falls in love. Bad cousin falls in love with her. He kind of gives himself up. And Christian was fully like, "Yeah, let's fullest extent of the law," and the law is like super extreme. It's like you get tortured for life and they live hundreds of years.
Wow.
And for Annie, for some reason, was like, no, that's too harsh. I'm like, what are you talking about? He poisoned you with permanent contraception. Was it what?
I mean, hundreds of years of torture.
I mean, but it's still, like, they were like, okay, only 30 years in prison. That's still a very little. I mean, granted, he did cooperate with them and, like, he gave them a bunch of information once he gave them up. But still, like, they lived for 500 years. You're only gonna give them 30 years in prison?
Rose says, give them more.
Yes!
I mean, I just execute them.
Exactly! Yes!
To me, imprisonment's worse.
Yeah, they said it's either death or eternal torture is the price for going against the government, which he was also doing at the time when he was going rogue and stuff. Yeah, he was doing that. He was trying to siphon money from the government through the evil ministers.
What did they give him in the end?
30 years.
Oh, okay, he did get 30 years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absurd.
So like this is a fantasy world.
Yes, fantasy.
Okay,
There's vampires.
so they're not like living off in the woods or anything. There's actually like a prison system.
Yeah, there is a prison
whole
system.
government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
that was insane.
That was insane. Yes,
was
indeed.
a trip.
You know, it's weird. Werewolf people are very good at sticking to the rules of how werewolves work.
They really are.
They
Like,
stay the same in every genre that it goes across.
It's incredible.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's wild.
even more so than vampire people.
Yes.
Like there is
indeed.
a system at play that you will adhere to if you're writing on this, or you will never be read. They have that ability. You won't be read.
You won't be read. We'll stop it with our powers.
Yes, indeed.
Combined.
But I mean, that was insane. So guys, thank you very much for being here. Guys, if you like your time here, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. Maybe you want to see 2 weeks ahead for other shows like Steins Gate, or just a week ahead for things like this, which I guess is actually 2 weeks ahead for next podcast. You can see the Patreon down below. But either way, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you in the city. Goodbye.
Bye.